G20 Sherpa, and I was quite surprised at that decision when Prime Minister Modi said we want Oman as one of the special guests around the free trade agreement, the comprehensive economic partnership that again was in the making for nearly 2 years now. Shankar Dayal Sharma ji was the Sultan's professor in college in Pune. In fact, Qais had articulated it very well when he said, and I quote, "It's in our DNA as Omanis to travel, engage, trade and sell. And that's what we are all here for. We've all traveled to engage with each other. We are all looking to do greater amount of trade, larger investments, and sell our ideas, our vision, our products to each other. And wonderful to see the enthusiasm around the free trade agreement, the comprehensive economic partnership that again was in the making for nearly 2 years now. We've worked hard, nearly 2 years of a lot of effort that both teams have put in, and a defining moment for a relationship that Prime Minister Modi had described as, and I quote, "India has millennia-old relations with Oman." Because we used to have exchanges between Oman and India by dhows centuries ago. And 5,000 years of maritime trade. Ships from the... Sorry, I think I've caught the bug soon after I landed. I could make a nice quip about it, but being recorded, I'll rather refrain from what could be the cause. But I told my friends on the table in private, those from Delhi would have probably figured out what I'm trying to say. But I remember when we used to read about ships from Lothal port in Gujarat coming to Oman, to Muscat, when India sent textiles, spices, and took back dates from Oman. It's a relationship that has timeless history and immense potential in the future. In fact, we are very happy that India had conferred the Gandhi Peace Prize to late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said for the huge effort he brought in to bring peace in this region. In 1995, when the President of India, Shankar Dayal Sharma ji, came to Oman, His Majesty Sultan Qaboos broke royal protocol and received the President at the airport, which is something pretty much unheard of. And it has left behind very strong memories of the goodwill and friendship between the two nations. In fact, just a small factoid, Shankar Dayal Sharma ji was the Sultan's professor in college in Pune. And the Sultan, in fact, reflected what we in India very easily recognize as Guru Deva Bhava. It's a respect we give to our teachers, who we look up as if they are God. And I think these values, these traditions, the rich culture that we share between Oman and India has been instrumental in bringing us to this very, very memorable and fateful day tomorrow, when before our two leaders Qais and I will have the privilege of executing the first free trade agreement Oman is going to sign with a country after 17 long years. The last agreement Oman did was with the United States of America in January 2006, okay. Then we are almost 20 years. Jeez, wow. Of course, our Honorable Prime Minister will be reaching here soon to celebrate 70 years of bilateral relations between the two countries. Both leaders share very strong bonds of friendship. In fact, for the very first time, Oman was invited to the G20 during the Indian G20 presidency in 2023. And that reflected the strong relations. Because at that point of time when these decisions were made, I was the G20 Sherpa and I was quite surprised at that decision when Prime Minister Modi said we want Oman as one of the special guests. And today I realize how important, how defining that decision was and how that has set the tone for a new chapter in our wonderful relations. Friends, this free trade agreement offers immense opportunities for all of you and those who could not be with us today in terms of several sectors. It could be textiles, it could be footwear, it could be automobiles, it could be gem and jewellery, agrochemicals, renewable energy, auto components. The sky is the limit in terms of potential, particularly with Oman opening the doors as a gateway to the GCC region, to Eastern Europe, to Central Asia, to Africa. And we can also look at significant collaboration in the services space, where we can see professional services, different chartered accountants, business accounting, business processes, business re-engineering, R&D, tourism. There's huge potential for tourism between the two countries, healthcare, education. And I think if I was to try and summarize the potential between the two countries, there could be 4 prominent areas of collaboration for mutual benefit. One would obviously be the energy transition that both are committed to, whether it's green, renewable sources of energy, battery storage, green hydrogen and ammonia. That whole ecosystem can open up between Oman and India and together for the rest of the world. Infrastructure is another area, multimodal logistics, ports, warehouses. It could be good scope for developing infrastructure or co-developing infrastructure. Another area would be food security, whether we can help Oman ensure food security, whether we can work together to make this a hub from where we work for the rest of the several regions that I just described, cold storages, food parks, a lot of potential in this area. I'm trying to go beyond the areas I mentioned earlier. And lastly, whether our startup ecosystem could engage with each other, could build bridges, could work on deep tech or smarter ways to work on logistics, software, services, artificial intelligence. Tremendous potential to leverage this area as a hub. And I can see with the amount of investors coming in over here I don't know if Jayan Bhai of Amul is also looking at setting up some dairy or processing plant here. Huge amount of potential that I can see in this partnership. As His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tarak Al Said had said, and I quote, "Youth are the nation's wealth, its resource, and the arms that build it." And the youthful energy that I see in this room, led by His Excellency Qais, the youthful prowess that India, with a young population, brings to the table, the youthful energy that I can see amongst the Omanis people, reflected very much in the way the nation is progressing. I think the old Omani proverb will define the future. And the proverb goes, "The boat sails by, but the shore remains." We have a choice whether we are going to let opportunities go by or we are going to really anchor ourselves and leverage the large opportunities that await both Omani's business persons, Indian corporates, Indian companies,